MSNBC has just decided to cancel Joy Reid's show, The Reid Out. Wonder why it is that they would do that.
Our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friend.
Turns out calling half the country Nazis and racist doesn't turn out viewership.
My show had value, and that that what I was doing had value.
Okay, so that little clip is a post-interview, her getting fired, her crying, tears. So anybody want to comment on her being fired? Did you guys like her? What did you not like about her?
I know nobody on this panel crazy enough to feel sorry for her big lip, wide mouth, bald-headed ass. I don't feel sorry for the wench, and I'm glad she got fired.
Whoa, wait, why you don't like her?
Whoa. Anytime I see her, I don't watch the show, but I've seen enough to where she just uses her platform to just spew the just dumbest things that come to her mind. The last time I heard her say something talking about white tears, and then here she come with her nigger tears, just like, are we supposed to feel sorry for that heifer? I don't, and I hope nobody else does neither.
I'm sensing some self-hate going on here.
Self-hate? What is that? Hate on here?
So, I mean, look, man, if you want to criticize her show, that's one thing, but I don't see how a black woman with big lips herself gonna come up here talking about another woman.
Are you trying to say that she got big lips because she black? I'm referring to her lips being big because she fat.
I'm just saying, I don't know why your criticism of her started out immediately about how she looked. It's just, I don't think it's necessary. So I think quite frankly, if you want to criticize the show, then okay, right? I mean, the show they're replacing it with is actually, I think, better and more entertaining. I prefer the show with Simone and Michael Steele. I actually do. So I'm not really mad at the show getting canceled. I'm just trying to figure out why your first comment was about how she looked. For what?
Because I don't like how she looked. I don't like what she say. I don't like how she said. I don't like how she treated her guests.
But you don't watch the show.
She's one-sided. She uses her platform to just be stupid.
But you said you don't watch the show.
About her looks, but let's not say I'm talking about her looks because she's black. So
I just said there's some self-hate going on. I'm just saying.
So if it's self-hate, then what do we have in common? To where
man, you made two comments. You talked about her. You talked about you don't watch the show, and you talked about her looks. Why?
Anymore.
Okay.
I don't care if you don't like it, Mr. Patrick.
I don't have to like it. No one has to like. I'm just saying, it doesn't really make sense.
Wait. So let me back up for a minute. You're saying that looks don't matter when it comes to national television?
No, that's not what I said. What I said was her criticism.
No. I'm not asking you what you said. I'm asking you your thoughts.
It does.
Do you think that looks matter?
Absolutely.
When it comes to national television. So you don't think that it matters the fact that Joy was bald-headed and had blonde hair, a blonde-haired, bald-headed woman, and she would look crazy and she would dress crazy on national television on a regular basis? You don't think that matters?
So what you are saying and your criticism of how she looks is different from what she was saying, right?
No, I'm not talking about what she's saying.
Okay,
I'm asking you.
So two different things,
conversations. Right? Yeah.
So do I believe that it is important to look a certain corporate way? Unfortunately, yes. Right? I don't think it necessarily should have to be that way. I don't think it's fair that it is that way.
Why do you think it's fair?
Why don't I think it's fair?
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in a colonialistic world or a colonialistic country, and that colonialistic country is one that says that you need to look a certain way.
Got it.
In order to have quote unquote acceptance.
So let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Have you ever masturbated to an ugly woman before?
I don't know the relevance of that question.
It's very relevant.
Why?
Because if you wouldn't masturbate to an ugly woman, then why would you look to be entertained by one that looked just like it?
Well, first of all, I don't look for that show to be entertaining. I look for it to try to assert.
It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, carrying yourself and looking a certain type of way matters, and that's the reason why they got cameras. Otherwise, then you could just be on radio.
So what you're saying is that in order to have a TV show or to be on TV, you need to be looking at someone that you would masturbate to? I don't get it. I mean,
no. Listen. In the short amount of time,
you're trying to make a false equivalency, man.
No, I'm not. In the short amount of time that I've spoken with you, I think that you're intelligent enough to be able to see the two. I think you're able to connect the dots. And the fact of the matter is, we care about effort. It's not even so much just about looks. It's about effort. And Joy Reid regularly showed up and looked like who did it, what, where, and why. And she never even looked like she gave any fucking effort, which honestly, I believe is an insult to Black women, because I think that Black women can put a lot more effort into the way that they look on a regular basis. And also, you know, that's one of the things that I think is our cultural norm, is the fact that we don't put enough effort into the way that we look, and the fact that she is a national representation, and we do care about looks, because that plays into whether or not people want to watch you, especially for women, makes sense. And so if you're saying that it's not relevant, then I would say that you are being dishonest in this conversation. And I understand the debate aspect of this show, and I understand that we're trying to get our points off and stuff, but at the same time, I think that you're being intellectually dishonest, because frankly, we care about when people put effort into what they look like. She should have been slimmer. She should not have had a bald head. She looks stupid. And that's in addition to the fact that she was spewing a lot of racist, hateful comments. And, you know, her audience, and the fact of the matter is, she got canceled not just because of that, but she got canceled because of her numbers. So when you start to dissect the numbers,
now you hit it.
But no, it's all relevant, because when you start to dissect the numbers, all of those factors that I just named matter. What you look like, how you communicate, whether you're hateful in your rhetoric, all of those things matter.
I don't think it does.
Every single thing matters when it comes to TV, especially for women.
I disagree. It comes down to the ratings, to be quite honest with you.
Okay,
right?
cool.
I mean, it's about the money.
No. Give me an ugly woman on TV that's killing it.
That's killing it?
Yeah.
Goldberg.
No, she's not. No. Let's be clear. Whoopi is not killing it on TV, and the ratings is no.
That's subjective, though.
And she's not even on TV by herself. She on TV with a bunch of other lunch ladies.
So by that same measure, can you tell me a woman in general that's killing it?
A woman in general, Candace Owens.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Candace Owens.
Excuse me, she's not killing
it. Candace Owens does crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Candace Owens does better numbers than Joy Reid on YouTube alone.
Facts.
And she just got remonetized.
Listen, you can feel some type of way about it, but we're talking about data. We're talking about statistics. So you turning your nose up at a fact, not an opinion.
I'm not turning my nose up. I'm just telling you, like, for example, Candace Owens doesn't show up anywhere on any of my things. Now, she may be doing certain things on YouTube.
Go and look at the numbers.
Well, okay, no. So, but there's two different numbers, right? So you're comparing YouTube and you're comparing cable.
I'm comparing viewership.
But there are different types of viewership, right?
Okay, if you want to look at viewership, you can just say MSNBC has a huge network and a large amount of subscribers that they built up over a period of time, and you can say that Candace Owens, who's recently left Ben Shapiro and whatever it is that they got going on, and then started to, because she wasn't even nurturing the channel that she's creating content on right now. She was actually putting out content on a completely separate Candace Owens show, channel that
Understood.
was owned by the Daily Wire, and she does way better numbers, way more viewers, and you can look at the difference between the Reid Out and you can look at Candace Owens show.
But
and you can also see the live viewers, which dwarfs what MSNBC was doing on regular TV. And that's
would you agree that it is a false equivalency to compare cable television viewership and streaming viewership? Do you think they're the same? Because I don't.
No, I think that cable viewer television viewership should be exponentially more because they're able to stream it to multiple different platforms. So actually, Candace Owens is at a disadvantage, and she's still dwarfing the numbers of Joy Reid. She's operating at a disadvantage, yet she's still destroying her. With no promotion, no visibility, and no network behind her, no cameras, no team, no nothing, just killing it.
So I understand your premise that you think they should be killing it that way. However, the way that people now consume media, people are often streaming more than they're consuming cable television.
Right, and MSNBC also streams, and they also stream to YouTube. So it's not like you can't compare numbers to YouTube also.
Exactly. So but back in 2 minutes ago, you were trying to talk about how, look, and we're getting kind of way off topic here.
We right on topic. We right there.
You can't compare the two viewerships. So you compare Candace Owens and anyone on cable television, it's just not the same.
You are right. She's at a disadvantage, yet she's still doing
I don't think it's a disadvantage. There's more viewers.
How is she not at a disadvantage and she's doing it independently?
Because they're streaming. The channel, the YouTube channel actually has more viewers than cable television, correct?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Candace Owens' YouTube viewership.
It's not supposed to anyway.
And here's the beauty.
Overall.
Here's the beauty of it. Candace Owens is organic, meaning that they're tuning in just for her. People aren't tuning in just for Joy Reid. Sometimes, like if you go into certain places, you go into whatever. You go into a bank and they have some TVs up there or whatever, so on and so forth. Sometimes they just have it up there. And it's not even that people are even truly tuning into whatever it is that they watch. And it just means that those numbers are being juiced up, right? So again, I think that you're intelligent enough to be able to decipher between the two. And organic viewership by people that's doing it independently, that's absolutely dwarfing Joy Reid, shows that she needed to put more effort, or maybe she's just not as good as the people, both in her effort and what she looks like and her ability to be able to communicate effectively.
So Anton, I hear you, but according to Chat GPT, streaming numbers are higher than cable televisions. I'm just saying facts are facts.
You're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is MSNBC has the ability to stream and cable, yet Candace Owens is not on cable at all, and she's only streaming on a platform that's interdependent on YouTube. And so Joy Reid should be destroying her when you talk about all of the different ways in which she can reach viewers, yet Candace Owens continues to dwarf her, is my point.
But that's only one show. You're making a false equivalency between the two platforms. But
no, you asked me to name a woman that is absolutely killing it. That's also a black woman, and I named Candace
on cable television. Okay, so let me extend my question. On cable television,
it doesn't matter whether you on cable television.
It is.
It doesn't because
because you're trying to set a standard, bro. You're trying to set a standard that it's because of how Joy Reid looks that.
No, I said that it was all of the above.
I think it's surely about her show, right? Her show was subpar. I don't think how she looked has to do with anything, right? And then again, if you're trying to say, okay, well, it's because of how she looks and she's not killing it. I'm like, tell me a woman on cable television that is killing.
Quote me accurately. I said it was all of the above.
Okay, well, which one is the more major factor? How she looks, or just the content of her show?
Well, it wasn't just how she looks. It was the effort she put into how she looked. But the content, I don't think that you can separate any of it. I think that it all plays together.
So they're all equal factors?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you don't look good, people aren't going to be willing to look at you. Just like with the other Joy, people were, even though her content was terrible, people were tuning in because she looked good.
Okay, so what about the show that's replacing Joy, right? It's another bald-headed woman.
I haven't seen the show aired.
Simone Saunders is the bald-headed woman.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about
rocking Simone. One of these.
I don't know anything about Simone Saunders, honestly. So I can't speak to it.
But isn't it a panel now?
Yeah, I just looked
at Michael Steele.
Better than like, unless you're really killing it like a Candace Owens, like a Megyn Kelly or somebody like that. Most people do better on panels. Those numbers do better. So
true.
I don't know who these people are that you're talking about. So
I think where Joy Reid went wrong, I will say this: we're entitled to our own opinions, but we're not entitled to our own facts. And while I think Joy Reid could have had some valid points in how she felt, I think she did herself a disservice by not reading the room properly. So even if sis made a point, she ended up shooting herself in the foot because of the rhetoric she did talk about. And I agree with Anton to an extent. All of those things combined probably did lead to her losing her job. And unfortunately, I do think that looks matter. However, I do think that looks are subjective as well. So who's to say who's attractive and who's not?
Yeah. I mean, look, the ratings were down, and that's going to get you killed no matter how good or bad.
Yeah, but in accumulation of all of that, I do think ties into, like, I think all of that could have led to that. I don't think it was just one single thing.
But at the same time, if the network had liked her enough, they would have moved her to another time slot. I think something similar happened to another host, I think on CNN or something, where they moved them from one time slot to another. They didn't fire him. They just kind of moved them around, and it was seen as a demotion, but he still had a job. Whereas for this person, which I don't know from a can of paint really, other than some little clips on YouTube, it was just off. So to me, that would say that A, her ratings were not that good, and B, the feedback, the comments from the viewers were negative enough that MSNBC was like, okay, well, we need to cut some positions, and she's it.
So wait a minute, who was that person?
That's the replacement.
She wasn't working for her employers for the benefit of her employer. She was doing what she was doing.
Wait a minute, that was who?
Herself.
That's the replacement. I just googled Simone Sanders.
That's one of the. There's one of three.
That's Magic Johnson's son.
You are mean. Now that's who you should have been giving energy to, Mr. Miller.
Funny.
No lie, it do look like.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, I think it was a business decision. Look,
I do too.
In the numbers, you gotta go. Like
numbers weren't there.
It's simple. Like,
and we don't know. She might have been difficult behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, Terry, you make a good point, right? Because
it gives a little race.
Still on the air. Terry makes a very, very good point. She's still on the air, so that tells me that it is safe to assume that when they wanted to take away her show, I would not be surprised if she was the type of person from watching the show that she was like, nah, like if you take away my show, I'm out. Right. And there's some people that don't want to take demotions. Right. Some people's just like, yo, I'm not going back. They feel like I don't care what the numbers are. Maybe it's a blip or whatever. Right. And so if I was the executive and her numbers were down, I would have got rid of her show, too, and put in another show that looks like they're popping more. And if you don't like it, then, hey, you can take this demotion or you can take the door.